Welcome to this introduction to the metal element. Governed by the lungs and the large intestine, Malik Cotter is a master, and I'm sure will give you some real insight to empower your healing work.
Now on to the metal element, lungs, large intestine. This is an interesting element because when you look at the coupled relationships, you can see how the liver and the gallbladder work together and the spleen, pancreas, and the stomach work together. But a lot of times people wonder, how does the lung and the large intestine connect? Well, they have a very interesting connection. It's through the internal pathway, the internal meridian, which is very important. Breathing long, slow, and deep. Breathing down into the lower abdominal area is vital for the lungs. Most people breathe like this. I'll show you. And you can see my upper hand and my lower hands. My lower hand's not even moving. My upper hand is doing all the motion because I'm just breathing in the upper part of my lung. You've got 5 lobes of the lungs, 3 on the right, 2 on the left because of the heart situation. What we want to do is we want to breathe deep down into the lower abdominal area. You're not really breathing into the large intestine or the small intestine. We're breathing into the lower lobe of the lungs. And when that lower lobe gets breath put into it, it pushes out the diaphragm. And then the diaphragm gives the appearance of the belly rising and the belly falling. Now, when I have patients who are dealing with constipation, the first thing I say to them, I'll give you the best remedy you need, and it's free. Long, slow, deep belly breathing. Most people, as you will see, do not belly breathe. Most people breathe up in the lungs. The lungs are called a delicate organ because you breathe air right into your nostrils or your mouth. It goes right into the lungs, passes through the trachea, and then goes into the lungs. You eat food, it goes through the mouth, then the esophagus, then the stomach, then the small intestine. It has to go through different gates before it gets there. The lung, right to the lung goes the air. You drink fluid. It doesn't go right into the kidneys. No, it passes through many different portals before it gets to the kidneys. The lungs, again, you breathe in, goes right into the lungs. So what we need to do is, it's called the delicate organ because it doesn't really have a filter system, but it does. But a lot of people don't use it. That's called the nose. Now, the nostrils, when we breathe in, part of the respiratory system that goes with the metal element and the lung, large intestine, is the nose. The nose is the sense organ. The lungs are the visceral organ of the metal element, which we also can equate as air. The air element, as in other cultures, whether it be Ayurvedic or ancient Greece or other cultures that have the element theory. When we look at the nose has hairs inside the nose. It also looks like a little sticky substance. This endothelial substance inside is it's part of the immune system. So as we're breathing in, the particles in the air are being trapped by the hairs and stuck onto them by the moisture that the endothelial cells are connecting with, and that holds this toxicity so we can blow it out and eliminate it as opposed to taking it into our lungs. So we have a filter system. Now the nose also warms the air. It puts the air through the sinuses. We have 5 sinuses: maxillary, frontal, sphenoid. We've got 5 lobes of the lung. We have 2 nostrils, we have 2 lungs, and the trachea, the windpipe, connects them together. Sinuses, being part of this respiratory system, they're just not hollow cavities inside of a bone, which is what a lot of Western medical dictionaries will say. A sinus is a hollow cavity inside of a bone. No. In the Oriental viewpoint, traditional Chinese medicine, the sinuses need to have the breath go through because what the sinuses are doing, extracting the chi element, the energy, the life force element out of the air and reservoiring that for the higher centers of the head, whether it be the brow and the crown, or as they call it, the cave of the ancients, the Niwan, called the mud pill, This is where the sinuses have much more valuable role. Clogged congestive sinuses inhibit our breathing. When we become mouth breathers, now what we're doing is we're breathing in toxicity without the filter system. We're breathing in air without the warming capacity to bring it to the body temperature, and we're actually doing ourselves harm. If you look at the fastest racing animals, the ones that run the fastest, jaguar, cougar, horse, greyhound, and if you look at these animals, they're all nose breathers. They're not mouth breathers. Look at the slow-moving animals. Cows, mouth breather. We need to breathe in the nose, keeping the sinuses clear so the energy can be extracted from the air we breathe to feed our higher centers, so that a warming filtered air comes into our lungs so we don't harm our lungs. Breathing deep, pushing the diaphragm muscle so the lower abdominal area works. The colon, the large intestine primarily, gets this nice tender massage, which helps peristaltic action. Now we're going to have good bowel movements. Breathing deep is your best remedy for constipation. It's not taking X-Lax or drinking Senna tea. It's long, slow, deep breathing. Of course, the food, the amount of water, all these play in. Exercise, yes, 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 no doubt about it. But what we want to do is long, slow, deep breathing.